messaging needs to come right at the top. It comes over content marketing. It's the parent to content marketing because you need to know what is your angle, what value are you providing, and like what transformation are you providing through your offer or your product. I have talked before about the 4 C's of content marketing, and I'll just give you a little recap-y just in case you forgot. But we have core content, which is like a podcast or a YouTube show. We have campaign content, which is centered around an offer, and you batch create all of the content around that offer at the same time. We have collab content, which would be like a webinar swap or a newsletter swap. And then we have curated content, which would be like a curated podcast list on a niche topic. Well, today we're talking about campaign content and how you can create it in less than 30 minutes, at least the draft. So I recommend when you are doing campaign content to go someplace a little different where you can get your creative juices flowing. This would be like a co-working space, a cafe. Maybe you even rent a hotel for the day. And you go there and you start mind mapping what people need to know about this offer, what objections are going to come up, what triggers people to need this offer, what transformation can people expect, what pain points are they dealing with when they start looking at this offer. And then start ideating what kind of content would make sense to move people through the sales funnel from discovering this offer exists to being ready to buy. And you just dig in and you create all the content at one time. But after I spoke with Nathan Schlaffer, the creator of MarketMadeAI, I learned that you can do the first draft in just 30 minutes. That is right. And it does it exactly the way I recommend. It starts with your offer and your customer, your target customer, looking at all their pain points, and then it drafts it for you. Imagine how much time you're going to save with a draft that's done in 30 minutes of multiple pieces of content that will drive people forward towards your offer. It's amazing. Okay, stay tuned for my talk with Nathan. And as a reminder, this is Sarah Noel Block, and you're listening to Tiny Marketing. Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs and B2B marketers. Before we dive back into the conversation, let me introduce you to a game changer in the lead generation arena, Leadfeeder. Now, we all know the struggle of identifying those elusive website visitors and turning them into valuable leads. But what if I told you there's a tool that not only promises, but delivers on supercharging your lead generation and sales efforts? Enter Leadfeeder. Imagine having the power to identify companies visiting your website, track their behavior in real time, and seamlessly integrate it all with your CRM. Leadfeeder is not just a tool, it's your secret weapon for efficient and targeted lead engagement. What sets Leadfeeder apart? It's the ability to provide detailed insights into visitor behavior, helping your sales team prioritize efforts and close deals faster. With customizable notifications, lead scoring, and GDPR compliance, Leadfeeder is changing the game. Ready to revolutionize your approach to leads and deals? Head over to leadfeeder.com for your free demo today. That's LEADFEEDER.com. Don't miss out on the future of successful lead generation with Leadfeeder. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. Do you mind introducing yourself to the audience?
Yeah, Sarah, great to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is Nathan, founder of MarketMadeAI. We're a company that helps small businesses automate marketing and personalize content with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I am stoked about this. I get asked about AI constantly because my whole thing is how to market better with a small team, even like a 0-person team.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone assumes that I'm anti-AI because I am primarily in the content marketing world. But I freaking love AI. So let's dig into this. So you have a tool that it's very it's very tiny marketing in that it's customer avatar centric. Can you walk
Yes.
me through this?
Yes, yeah. So the way it works is basically we start with your audience, and I love that example of tiny marketing's 4-step process with customer avatars because I think
Yes.
all great content marketing starts with the customer avatar. So we start with your buyer persona first. We teach an AI model. Who are you targeting? You know, what's their job title? What are their pain points? What motivates them? How do they measure success? And then in step two, after the AI understands your customer, then we develop messaging. So as your as you do as well, we help craft the value proposition and the messaging brief and the positioning. But the AI basically assists in developing that. So it knows your audience, it understands your product, and now we're ready for content marketing. And I think those two steps are missing in a lot of AI tools today. Is like if you just
Yeah.
say write a blog, but you're like, who are you writing to? You know, what's your what makes you unique? What makes you different? So our AI helps personalize content based on those first two steps. So based on your audience, based on your value proposition, and then finally drive sales enablement is if you are a single marketer, with a group of salespeople or just a small business owner that's kind of juggling a lot of hats. Having an AI that can help write compelling prospect emails or sales pitches can be really valuable. So our platform is kind of holistic with those 4 steps, starting with your buyer persona, then creating your messaging, then personalizing content, and then helping with sales enablement. We're able to do everything that a B2B business needs on a budget.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I talk about is first you have to understand that customer persona inside and out. And people are really driven by relieving their pain over gaining something new.
Yes.
And having that pain point, those challenges at the forefront of the content makes such a big difference because they're like, I don't want to be in this pain anymore. You're
Totally.
everyone's a lot more driven by like, okay, I have this blister on my foot that I can't stop thinking about because every time I move, I'm fixating on it instead of my feet feel fine. When think
Absolutely.
about it when everything's fine.
Yeah, totally. Focusing on the pain is really a way to resonate and get people's interest in what you have to offer. I mean, as a small business owner, just resonating with a lot of what you had on your webpage about, hey, being strapped for time, not having a lot of resources.
Yeah.
That's something every small business struggles with. So if you're able to use AI to make life easier, why not?
So let's talk about that a bit. So are we providing the customer avatar to the tool or does it help develop it?
Great question. So it helps develop it. So basically, the way it would work is you would describe your product, and so no prompting, in plain English. Like I sell, a software as a service solution that does X. And then
Mhm.
next, you would define your vertical. So, like, what market are you manufacturing? Are you transportation? And then you would define, hey, this is a job title and some pain points. And then the AI model creates the persona for you and then remembers it so it can write content for that same audience later. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first step. It identifies, it creates that customer persona. And
Absolutely.
then next up, what do we do? Does it help us come up with content ideas? What is the next step in the process?
It does. So step two is messaging. So it would help you create like a value proposition, product positioning, and product naming. If you still need to name a product, what's a creative name for my solution or a brand architecture if you have multiple products or services. So the next step is create your messaging so we can have a consistent blueprint across all of your marketing channels. And then the third step is content personalization. And to your point about content ideas, MarketMate can help you create the content, so write a press release, but you can also generate top, middle, and bottom of funnel content ideas. So
Nice.
if you're like, hey, I'm brainstorming ideas for my content calendar, you can say, here's my persona, generate ideas for me, and it generates the content ideas.
I love that. So you touched on something that is so important that I talk about a lot, and that's
Mm.
in the hierarchy of things, messaging needs to come right at the top. It comes over content marketing.
Yes,
It's the parent to content marketing. Because you need to know what is your angle, what value are you providing,
absolutely.
and like what transformation are you providing through your offer or your product. And that's so often missed. I think messaging is really undervalued. People on the outside, maybe like probably at the business owner level where their marketing isn't their world, they
Yeah.
wouldn't realize that.
Absolutely. One of the biggest misconceptions about marketers is we just do content. There's actually a lot of strategy and critical thinking that comes before that. It's like, who's my audience? How am I messaging to them? How do I differ than other solutions out there? So I think you're right. Is like that's like the foundation is your messaging, and then comes the content because it informs the content and makes sure the message is resonating with your audience.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
That's how like my core offer is a strategic story. And that's exactly like what you described. It is exactly the format in which I do it. It's customer interviews and avatar first, and
Amazing.
then messaging, and then content and marketing strategy. How do we get people to actually see all of the content, all of those pieces of it?
That's
But
great.
okay, so we have the customer avatar, we have the messaging strategy, then we get into content ideation.
Yes.
And now, how does it help us create the content?
Yeah, great idea. So let's use that example with your content idea generator earlier.
Okay.
So the AI will generate a few ideas for top of funnel, a few ideas for middle, and a few ideas for bottom. And for those audience members that are maybe new to marketing, right? Top of funnel is your awareness content, middle of funnel is your consideration content. Maybe you're comparing options, and then bottom of funnel is more product centric, call to action. Visit our website, attend our webinar. So the AI
Yeah.
generates these ideas, and then if you like some of them, you press a button that says, "I like these ideas, write them for me," and it can create a content package for your marketing campaign. So it's pretty
Mm.
curated in a way that, like, ChatGPT, you have to think of the idea, then you have to refine it, and then you have to. With MarketMate, you don't have to do any prompting. You just press a button that says "Generate ideas," and then you select what ideas you want, and then it writes them for you. So it's a much more curated experience, I'd say, than traditional content marketing. Mm.
So I have this 4 C's framework that I walk people through, but the second one is campaign content.
Ah,
And that's like
wow.
exactly what you're
We
talking
align so
about.
well.
We do align so
That's case.
well. But like sitting down with your offer in mind and what content do you need to create to drive people to that offer? And this is
Yes.
ideal. Now,
Mhm.
my question is tone of voice, personality. Are you able to train it to sound like you, or do you need to edit afterwards?
Great question. So we have that content ideas tool. Right above it, we've got content developer where you can tailor like tone of voice for a particular content type. You can say, hey, here's what I'm promoting or the purpose of the piece. You can even add context about your audience. You can drop down, there's a drop down menu and you pick your persona. So it'll drop in your persona. So that's basically how it works is you can tailor the tone based on the medium because of course different channels have different tones of voice. Maybe LinkedIn you're more professional versus Instagram it's a little different, so having the right tone of voice for the right medium is super important and something it allows for customizing. Mhm.
Now, for customizing it to meet your own brand voice, is that possible?
Yes, yeah. So just to give you an example, we were working with a marketing agency, and they had a specific tone of voice for one of their clients. So what they were able to do, and they were based in London, so they had like an accent as well. So they wanted to make sure it was using the right tone
You
of voice
sound like
and the
you're from
right version.
London.
So they were able to type in, use an English use British English, and then also here's the tone of a professional, down to earth, expert, and they're able to tailor their brand tone based on their clients' needs, and they were able to get good results from that align closely with their brand tone of voice.
Okay. So for people not familiar with your tool, they might be familiar with Grammarly. And
Yeah.
Grammarly, that's how you can change your tone of voice on there as you're editing is, I want to sound friendly or
Yeah.
whatever. So you can choose from those prompts, but it's not necessarily training it, like feeding it some of the content that was original to you.
Oh, okay.
So like um meeting like, your idiosyncrasies, the little phrases that you say. So those would be edited afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. As like your unique lexicon and like words that you use that
Yeah,
can
just
be fed
your
afterwards.
unique weirdness.
Yeah, yeah, that can be fed after.
Okay. So we are at the step where we have written content.
Yeah.
And now looking at video and audio content, is there anything that it touches on that front?
At the moment, no, but we're working on a designer tool that will touch on those as well as the design of ads. So that we're excited for that. But
Yeah.
it's currently today we focus on content, but in the future we're going to add design capabilities. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, currently it's written content. And then future projects by design, you mean like video content?
Yeah, so short video generation from AI, image generation. We're working around improving that because currently, if you use AI tools for image generation, it does great with images, but not great with text. If you see some of the outputs of like DALL-E or Adobe Firefly. So, what we're working on is one that can do the text and the images well. Yeah, take your brand guidelines, like your primary colors, your secondary colors, your fonts, and then is able to tailor. Now that you've approved the content, now let's send it to design and have the AI create a first draft for me.
That'll be cool. Yeah. I have I play with all sorts of AI, but I know exactly what you mean with the image generator. It's like if you have anything written in there, it's always wonky. Like that seems like it would be the easiest thing to
Yeah.
create with AI, and it's always wrong.
Right, right. Yeah,
And I love that
exactly.
you can make sure your brand colors are included in the imagery too.
That is so important, and that's kind of why we're taking our time with that. And our goal is to launch it next quarter. Uh, but
Hmm.
but if we can make the design less wonky, like I noticed, it keeps repeating the same person. Like if you say photorealistic, or their eyes don't
Yeah,
quite look right, or
your hands are always weird.
exactly the
Oh
background
my
is
gosh.
yeah.
I tried, side note, I tried to do AI generated headshots just to see, because I was curious
How
how
did that
accurate they'd be. When I looked like 20 years older than I am, I was like, oh, that's
go?
insulting. Do I actually look 20 years older than I think I do? But also my hands were always weird.
Uh, yeah, that's a common issue I noticed. Is like the hands are weird, or it makes you look the wrong age. So, yeah, my it has a ways to go to catch up to the text generation, the content generation quality. Hmm.
Yes. I can just always spot it. There's someone I follow on LinkedIn who always has images attached to her text posts, and I'm like, that is AI for sure. That is an AI headshot or an AI you on a stage.
That's
That's
funny.
funny. Okay, so roadmap, we have video, we have design.
Hmm.
Am I right in video or did I make that up? Because I don't
Oh, you're
remember you
you're right.
actually
It's
talking
on the
about that.
roadmap. Yeah.
Okay. So roadmap, we have video and we have graphic design.
Hmm.
So we've created our content now. Now it's time to distribute. So what does that look like on your platform?
Yeah, so distribution, we typically don't post from MarketMate. So you would use, your LinkedIn, your social media, or Hootsuite or Sprout Social to post, and whatever website developer tool. So we mainly handle the content development at this point. Hmm.
So they would just like copy and paste it to their website and then distribute as normal.
Exactly. Hmm.
Okay. Now, I love a good integration.
Oh,
If I
okay.
can avoid a zap, I will avoid a zap. Do you have any native integrations?
We do. We integrate with Google Drive and SharePoint. And the reason we do is a lot of people like to tweak things, especially as marketers or small business owners. So we added the ability to send documents to Microsoft or to Google, so you can edit on the fly and find things.
Yeah, that's always ideal.
Hmm.
I'm a Google girl. So I love when I can export it to a Google Doc and I can edit it the way I want to edit it, the way I'm
Yes.
used to. And I have all my tools integrated in there I can use for editing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. That way you can use the Grammarly or whatever tool you want
Yeah,
natively.
exactly. All right. So is there anything that I missed on your platform?
I think you covered it. I would say, common use cases of people that are getting started is, hey, I have a new website and I need content, or I'm just launching this new product and I need messaging, or I need to launch a new campaign, but I'm strapped for resources. I can't have, a full-time marketer, another full-time person, but I want a tool to enable my staff to do more with less. That's really where we come in handy for the small business owner or the marketing manager.
Okay. And how do you have any stories of how small teams have integrated this into their marketing?
I do. There's a person, he's the head of marketing at a small startup. I think they were Series A. His name is Max at a company called Player Zero.
Mhm.
And they had a new, basically, product release management software that would help like product managers collect feedback from customers and manage their releases in a systematic way. And they had a new product launch. So one of the things we did is we recorded the session that we put on YouTube, where literally in 30 minutes we were able to crank out his value proposition, his buyer persona is the VP of product. We were able to crank out campaigns worth of content, so a press release, social post for LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as a blog post. In just 30 minutes, we were able to do all this stuff, and it's incredible.
I need to play with this tool.
Yeah, totally, because like I would do this manually before I had tools like this, and part of the reason why we invented this is we were under resourced, and we're like, hey, I want to be able to rapidly create content for campaigns. I don't want to have to spend days, refining. At least if I can get to the
Yeah.
first draft quickly, it could be a game changer. So that's one example of where we use MarketMate to drastically accelerate, content development.
Yes, that's brilliant. I'm glad you brought that up because going back to the 4 C's of
Yeah.
content, when you're creating campaign content, I always recommend you have like a batching day where you go somewhere, maybe you get a hotel for the day and you sit down and you just do all of the content around your campaign to get people to your offer. With this, you'd have a first draft in 30 minutes for everything you need to create. And
Yes,
then you can spend that time like refining it, figuring out your distribution model,
absolutely.
and how to create that content funnel to get people to your offer. So this would just save so much time and allow you to take that campaign to the next level because you're spitting out that draft so quick.
Totally. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is it's like an opportunity. What else can you be doing with your time, right? You can be
Yeah.
strategizing and
Yeah.
yeah.
You get so much more time back to do the strategic work and
Hmm. Hmm.
the connections. Like most of my new clients come from partnerships, collaborating. So you can spend that time
Yeah.
connecting with product companies with that your client also uses because it's very likely the clone of that perfect client is also using that technology. So you can get in front of them.
Totally. Yeah. Invest in business development, grow the business, and just spend less time doing the manual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have any lead magnets that you want to share or call to actions to so people can try out your tool?
Yeah, yeah. So I would love to, if anyone in your audience would like a demo or a free trial, they can go to our website and submit a demo request. I'd love to have a conversation with them. My website is www.marketmateai.com. I love helping people solve marketing problems and automate things with AI. And we always try to make it easy and accessible for you, even if people don't have any AI experience, even if they have little marketing experience. We kind of walk them through how to use the platform to meet their goals.
That's awesome. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to have that in the show notes, and I'm going to play with it. I'll tell you that much. I'm
Oh,
a
sweet.
chronic beta tester.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how can they find you online if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. We have a page, MarketMadeAI. You can also visit our website, like we said earlier in the show notes. But anytime. And you can also contact us at info@marketmadeai.com. So multiple ways to get in touch, and would love to continue
Perfect.
the conversation.
Yep, I'm scanning. I was just scanning to make sure I had your links. Yep, I have the links to LinkedIn and YouTube. So
Oh,
I'll
great.
make sure to share those in the show notes.
Great.
And thank you for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sarah. Had a great conversation. Appreciate it.
That is that, friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you're going to try out Marketing Mate AI for your campaign content. I'm going to have the link right down in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, remember to like, rate, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And hit that share button. Make sure to share with a friend so more people know about tiny marketing.